8 years, I've walked around the earth. Whew. Yeah, g'day, welcome back to the channel. I'm up in the Brindabellas, or in Namadgi National Park. I'm about to summit Mount Franklin. Yes, I parked at the Mount Franklin Road car park and I'm heading up to the summit. This is a bit of a heritage site here in the ACT and I'll show you all that. But it's really windy. I hope I can find some places where I'll be a bit protected. It's a lot cooler than I was expecting. I don't know, it was 12 or so when I left Canberra. Came through some drizzle, so I might get some rain, but it's quite windy. But yeah, 3.5k, but it's up a fairly steep hill. I'm already puffing. Been out of breath a lot lately, but anyway, I'll take you through to the summit and hopefully we'll find somewhere a bit secluded, out of the wind, and have a coffee. There's a few things to show you along the way. Yeah, I'm taking a bit of shelter behind this wall they've built on this new shed. But this is an old ski chalet. It's built in 1938 for people to go skiing on Mount Franklin. It was one of the first sort of ski runs in the area, or in the whole Snowies. And yeah, it's long since been disbanded, and we'll go and have a look at it all. But yeah, this was a 2-story chalet that housed up to 30 odd people in 1938, so it would have been quite a trek to get out here in 1938, and I'll show you an old Austin A40 in a minute. And they must have driven up here somehow, and I'll show you that in a sec. But yeah, so that's all that's left of it. It's been dismantled. There's a stove and a few relics, but yeah, nothing much left apart from the foundations. Yeah, 2-story chalet. I'll see if I can dig around on the internet somewhere and find some photos of what it might have looked like back in the day. But yeah, so this was the staging point, and Mount Franklin is up that little trail, so we're going to head up there, up to the top. As you can see, that's Mount Franklin, and there's a trig station up the top, and I assume it's going to be as windy and as cold as all buggery up there, but if it is, we'll just come back down and find a nice secluded spot just here somewhere and have a coffee. Let's get into it. Whew, yeah, there was a sign back there about the bushfires in 2003, and yeah, a couple of impressive numbers on there. 3/4 of the ACT was burned, and pretty much most of the Namadgi National Park was gone. But they also said that the big fire break they put around the chalet wasn't enough, and the firestorm came right through this area. Now, I was up here in the late 90s, and I actually don't recall seeing the chalet. So I don't know whether it was gone by then or whether it actually burnt down in the fires. I'll have to do a bit of research and find out, and I'll let you know. But yeah, I was a bit surprised by that. Anyway, it's nice, a bit protected from the wind here, so I can have a chat. God, it's a nice country through here too. Not that I've ever said that before. Bloody cold though. Yeah, in November 2007 I downloaded an app, and it's an app that aggregates all your sort of exercise activities on the Apple Watch and Apple phone. So as you know, you can calculate your steps and record your walks like you do on Strava and all those sorts of things. You can do that on your Apple gear. And this app I downloaded aggregates it all. And I just hadn't thought about it for a long time. It was in 2007, so 2017, sorry. So the other day I looked at it, and since 2017 I'd clocked up 40,000 kilometres walking. Now that's a lot. It's even more impressive when you consider this. The Earth is 40,000 kilometres around. So I've basically, since 2017, so it's November, very close to November now, so that's what is that? 8 years I've walked around the Earth. So yeah, pretty good. 47 million steps I've taken to do that. Pretty cool. Anyway, I'm about to do another, I don't know, couple of thousand steps up this bloody great hill. Let's get into it. Yeah, definitely winning Sunday. Whew. Yeah. Way off in the distance over there is a area that's got no trees on it. I don't know whether you can see it. I'll try and zoom in. Yeah, that's Giannini Flats. That's Mount Giannini just behind it. And Giannini Flats is a sphagnum moss area, so it's just a big sponge, basically. Yeah, so no trees grow there. But what does exist there is Corroboree frogs, which are tiny little frogs native to this area. Yeah, very endangered because there's not many of those little sphagnum moss areas left. That's one of them. Pretty cool. When I went up to Prior's Hut a few months ago, you sort of walk up behind there, and you sort of walk beside that. So yeah, I'll see if I can dig some footage out from the other side. Yeah, pretty cool. Corroboree Frogs. Awesome. Ooh, not far to the summit. Let's go. Yeah, so this is the summit of Mount Franklin, 1647 metres, as per my altitude thing on my watch. But this isn't where the ski slopes are. That's the walk back to the chalets down there. The ski slopes are down this way, so let's go and have a look. And I'll show you this Austin A40, what's left of it, and why it's here. Nice spot for a coffee. Nice and protected down this side too. Yeah, so that's the Austin A40. I think you can understand why it's up here. God only knows how they brought it up here. I might try and do a bit of research and figure it out. It would have been fun driving it up here. Like, you're up at the top of a mountain. I was puffing getting up here, and there were steep parts where you're kind of half scrambling coming up. So there's no way this car was driven up from the chalet, or even dragged up even, I wouldn't have thought. So maybe they choppered it in at some point, I don't know. Anyway, you can see what it was used for. There's an engine, there's a pulley or a wheel there, and a cable going down. So I walked up the back of the mountain up there. This is where the ski runs were. So the trees have grown back now, obviously, but they had all this cleared, and the ski runs were down there. So you could imagine, like, you know, set up a ski chalet and 30 people come out here and you ski down the hill, 2 minutes of fun, and then an hour trudging back up with all your crap. And it was 1938 crap too. It wasn't like super smick either, so it would have been fun. So getting this installed, to tow them back up the hill was important, I guess. So yeah. Great little car, great little relic. Like I said, this is a heritage site now, so. Yeah, it's the end of November, so there's no snow. When I was out here, I came out here with my kids and we went for a walk. And we walked up to Prior's Hut, and it was the one that I didn't video, but there was snow everywhere. Deep snow, crunching snow, it was great. And yeah, all the way along. In fact, we had to park at this car park, Mount Franklin car park, and walk an extra 5Ks to the hut and extra 5Ks back. So it was a long hike in, but yeah, there's snow all the way. It was really good. So yeah, it gets a lot of snow up here. Yeah, like I said, we're at 1650 metres, so pretty high. Canberra itself is about 700, 600, 700 depending on where you are. So a fair way up. But yeah, not as high. 2228 is Kosciuszko, so we're about 500 metres shy of the highest point in Australia. So yeah, good spot. Nice views too. Yeah, when I was coming out, I went through a real squally bit of rain and I thought, oh, here we go. It's going to be miserable out here. I was still going to walk out here because it was just drizzle, but it was windy drizzle. But I got my hat and quick drying clothes, so that was all good. But the rain stopped, so it was good. Just realised it would have been some poor sucker's job to cart a jerry can of fuel up every day too. That wouldn't have been much fun. I'll do a bit of a Google and see what an Austin A40 looks like when it's not been sitting up on top of a windy, snow-driven mountain for, whatever, 60 years. Yeah, in 1999, I'm only saying that because of the hat I was wearing. I was up here with my wife, who I just married. We got married at the start of 1999. And a couple of mates of mine. And there's a photo of us sitting on this car, and I'll replicate it without my mates. And I didn't... I don't realise, but I was sitting on a very spiky bit back in that original photo, or this has changed, one of the two. Don't know, but it was very uncomfortable replicating it. God, that was like, what, 26 years ago? Crazy to think about. I've had kids since then, and those kids are now adults. Actually, here's how much my kids are adults. I got up at 4 o'clock to come out here today, because I got out here at dawn, and it's a fair drive out. And one of my kids was just coming home. So yeah, adult kids. I remember those days. In fact, the dude that was in the photo I went to uni with, and there was plenty of days like that. Ugh. Well, that's it for reminiscing about the past. I'm gonna retrace my steps. It's all downhill from here. So yeah, thanks for coming out. Beautiful Ngunnawal country. God, I love this country. It is so good. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna head home. Thanks for coming out. I'll see you next time.